Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? Um, I'm not going to be on here long. It's something I've seen something. I read something that where Tyler Perry was supposedly have had wanted to give TSA workers in Hartsfield Jackson in the airport in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, Hartsfield Jackson. He wanted to give the TSA workers who were suffering through the government shutdown, he wanted to give them a monetary gift, and he wasn't allowed to. But upon researching, I found out that that wasn't completely true. He was told that he could not give them any gifts, but the reason why he was told that he couldn't give any TSA worker any gifts is because TSA workers are technically government employees, and federal law prohibits federal law prohibits government workers from accepting gifts, so it doesn't look, so they won't look like they're taking bribes or anything. And so technically, he was not allowed to give them gifts, and even though, and they can't take the gifts while they're at work. And that's understandable because they said that they don't want to have it looking like that they were actually, receiving gifts, gifts that they were receiving gifts for favors. So here's what actually happened. I described it briefly in the description box, but this is what really happened. And what you're hearing online is not the full story. Yes, he was told that he couldn't give them any gifts, any money, or anything, but that was because they were at work. Now, here's what really happened. The government shutdown, TSA workers are working without pay. And when Tyler Perry saw that, of course he wanted to help because, he is known to help people out in the Atlanta metro area. And he's always helping them when there were no food stamps given that month. He went to the local Walmart and Kroger's and paid the bill for any people who had EBT cards but didn't have enough money on them, who didn't receive any money for that month. So what he did was he gave them, he paid for their food. He's always known for helping people. When his crew was working on some of his movies and they didn't have money for rent, he would take and he would pay, he gave them housing on the set because those houses actually work on the set. He let them stay there rent-free. And so he's known to help his people out. But the day he went to the airport to pass out these gift cards, which he was going to give them, they weren't allowed to take them. And the gift cards, there's no truth to the rumor that his gift cards could only be $20 or less. There's no truth to that. And he wasn't stopped from being generous. He wasn't stopped he was stopped because of federal rules at that particular moment. The way he wanted to do it, he wasn't allowed to by the federal laws. So, since TSA agents are government employees and they are not allowed to accept cash or gifts directly while they are on duty, especially at a checkpoint like an airport. So to prevent the look of bribery or favoritism, so he wasn't allowed to do it. There is no, as far as what I've researched, there's no $20 limit on the gift cards that he could give. It's just that when he went to the airport, he wasn't allowed to give them anything because they were at work, you know. So it was about, how he was giving out the help, and at the time he was giving out the help. I hope everybody understands that, and the thing that really matters is, even though they told Tyler Perry that he couldn't give them any gifts at work while they were working, it didn't stop him. He sought a legal way to do it. Which is he would, a way he could give them the money without breaking the law, because that's not what he wasn't trying, that's not what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to break the law. He was trying to give people a way to, he was trying to find a legal way to give people money. So, and it was the whole situation at the airport and everything was more about how he was trying, how he was giving out the help that he was given, and why he couldn't do it, So what Tyler Perry actually did was, he still managed to help these people. And his gift cards, what he did was, after work, when they weren't at work, when they were not at the airport, they could accept it. So legally they could accept things as long as they weren't working. So what he did was, he gave people gift cards when they were not at work, and the gift cards were $1,000 a piece. He gave them gift cards of $1,000 a piece. He in all actuality, and after I took and I did some research, I found out that he did it the legal way, and the legal way is, he wasn't told that you can't help. He was told you can't do it the way you want to do it. You cannot come to the airport and hand out those tickets because they're legally on duty. And so once he found a legal way to do it, he went ahead and he did it. And he was able to help even more. And we need to there's so much misinformation going around that people need to be careful of what they put out on the internet, because everything you hear is not true, because people don't have the whole story. Fact check your stories. Fact check all your stories. So he did help the people. He actually gave them more than $20. It was never his thing to give these TSA workers $20. That isn't what he was doing. He was able to help more, and he gave out $1,000 to however many TSA workers they have at Jackson Hartsfield Airport in Atlanta. So this thing about they won't let him give them anything is a big lie, big misconception, big misinformation type of thing. And, and let's understand that when we tell these stories, especially at times like this, These stories need to be told in a positive way, a positive and truthful way, you know. So this is what he did. He gave those TSA workers $1,000 gift cards, and he went and did it the legal way, the proper way. So everything was done the right way, and that this is what being informed is about, all about. When you tell stories, we need to make sure that the things we comment on is actually the truth. Let's do that, people. Let's not sit and put out misinformation, especially about something like this, because, and we all know that this administration that we have in office now is not the friendliest towards the working class people. We know this. We just know we don't have the best people in office right now. But when we tell stories, let's give people the truth so people can make an informed decision, not a rationalized decision. I hope that makes sense, because, while I'm not a fan of the Trump administration, let's be honest, let's not give them any more dirt than they already have, and any more, I don't know the word I want to use. I don't want to get myself, my post taken down. But, so I'm going to say this once again, during the government shutdown, TSA workers aren't getting paid. We all know that. They're working without pay. And, my first reaction when I heard they were working out without pay, I'm going to tell you, my reaction was, oh, this ain't slavery. They really want to take us back. This ain't slavery. People ain't working for free. Some people are even finding other jobs, and they're quitting because they just not going to go through it. They can't afford to go through it. It's not that they can't go through it. They just can't afford to, people cannot afford not to be paid and work. And a lot of people have families, so the ones who could find other jobs have left, but there's some that can't find other jobs, and they want to get, they would like to leave, but they can't leave. Sometimes when you work, we're stuck in places, in places that we don't want to really be, but we have to, we have to suck it up and do what we have to do. So we can't judge anybody by that, but we can tell the true stories and get the word out to them. So I don't know what else Tyler Perry has planned, but I do know that he did give out, I've found out he did give out $1,000 gift cards after they were off from work. I'm going to look into it more and see what he did to get these, how did he get the TSA employees the gift cards when they weren't at work. So maybe they had to show their badges. I don't know. I don't know how they worked it. And so this is what being informed is about. Being informed and reporting and writing and doing content on the truth is about checking out the things that we hear, and before we make a comment, make sure we're talking about the right thing. That's what being informed is all about. Is making sure that things are actually true, that we speak on. It doesn't give it. The government, and I know that people want to blame the Trump administration. I think the whole thing is crazy. I think they should be getting paid. But I read, and I wish I had saved it, I didn't save it, So I can't, I don't even remember where I read it, but I did read that from the other government shutdown from last year, from 2025, some people, for however many days they didn't get, how many weeks they didn't get paid, that some people are still waiting for that money and they've never got it. So they've lost money then and they just continue to work. I'm going to look more into that. It's going to take me some time, but I'm going to look at it. And when I do find out, I'll do another. I'll do another clip. So again, people, be careful what you comment on, and make sure it's the truth before you write your comments. Everybody who reads this, if you like my channel, my YouTube channel is things worth normally newsflash, things worth. Forgive me, I haven't been online in so long because I've been sick, but I'm feeling better now. My channel is Newsflash, formerly Things Worth Knowing, at BIGGIRL_72. If you like, please like and subscribe to my channel for more. That again is Newsflash, formerly Things Worth Knowing, at BIGGIRL. RL_72. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you care to. So again, and once again, I'll say it again. I can't say it enough. And please, when you report something, please report the truth. And if you like this content, to help me get more things out and do more things, my Cash App is $pumpkinscat72. It's in the banner, my disclaimer. So if you care to donate to help me get better information out, I surely would appreciate whatever you could do. So good, everyone, have a nice night.